Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Well, welcome to today's lightning session. Today we'll be dealing with a very interesting topic, AOP. I'm sure some of us have used it and even done some magic with it. I think the first time I came across that particular subject, it was quite crazy. At that particular point, I was like, if this is how they are writing Java, if this is how they are writing Spring Boot as a programmer, I don't think I can go far because it was crazy. It was just like magic happening again. Because you're going to be. It is one of the thing about TOP is that I would say it is difficult to debug in some sense, but you actually place AOP to debug. So you don't make it your core architecture. But today, um, our host, our speaker today will be giving us a very important view of AOP. Get so it's a very interesting, good to have get because it just makes or I say your logins get those particular parts easy for you to plug in. So we're all welcome to today's lightning session, and I think I'll be handing over the mic to my boss, Oluwatimilehin.
Oh, good evening, everyone. I hope we had a great day. Yeah, I am Oluwatimilehin Awoniyi, and we're talking on aspect-oriented programming today. And yeah, it's one of those magic that Spring Boot could, throw to you, or like you could come across and you'd be like, how is it working? What's happening behind the scene? And yeah, I faced that in a lot of my workplace, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go deep on this thing and understand how it works and all these things. And I felt that it was cool. It was very cool. And so yeah, it's exciting to be teaching it. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of practicals. Yeah, and yeah, we'll just cut into it. And thank you very much again for NAIJA-JUG for this opportunity. And yeah, thank you to the admin. So, so the business of the day, basically. Okay, how do we expand this? PowerPoint. Yeah, slideshow, I guess, from beginning, I guess. Oh, okay. So cross-cutting concerns. Let's solve it together. So this is an introduction to aspect-oriented programming with Spring. And yeah, why you might want to actually use it in your next project, basically. So cross-cutting concerns, what does that really mean? I am very guilty of this issue, this problem. And that is something like you get into a code base, maybe a service, say an e-commerce stuff, and you see create order, something like that. Maybe the part is supposed to create order. Then, of course, before the creation of order, you're checking for some things. You're like, okay, let's assume that it is not, it is an e-commerce application that is not a multi-vendor or something that allows vendors, like Jumia or this Temu. No, it's something that probably is for your personal self. So we are assuming that you as an owner have the sole responsibility and authority and authorization to create products, right? That makes sense. So, and now you're looking at somebody you're writing the code, for example, and you're looking at, okay, when you want to create a product or something, you want to check the role of that person, of the authority of that person. Is this person even valid to create it? And it's making sense, yeah? You want to check the role. Is this person valid to create a product? Your login, okay, missed that because of analytics or maybe telemetry or monitoring issues. Concerns. Your login issues, like, is this user A or user with the ID, this thing is creating a product? All these things are happening in the method create a product. You know what? As a matter of fact, I think we should even just code it out. But yeah, before then, let me just wrap it like that. So what is supposed to just create a product is checking if you're authorized to do it. Is also checking if you, it's also logging, creating some logs, you know, logging things out like, okay, is this person, this person's identity, let us log it out. And before it now gets to the creation of the order, then after it, of course, I said because of telemetry or monitoring concerns, you're still writing another log like, okay, user is done, this user created this thing at this particular time. And when you go to update the part that, or the service that, the method that updates a product, you see the same check. When you go to say delete, you want to check, is this person even authorized to delete? You see the same thing, the same line of code, like, okay, delete, you know, checking if the person has an authority and or maybe the person is admin, if the role is admin or user or manager. And these things, you know, you get to see it a lot when you're even starting or when you're writing your personal projects, you get to write them. And these things, they are cross-cutting concerns simply because that method is supposed to create a product, but now it is checking if the person is valid. It is creating logs, logging, creating some logs and all this stuff, and doing before it now creates the product, right? So we are saying this is cross-cutting concern. And yeah, I had some examples written here. Yeah, that's one of my first ones. You know, you open an order service, creates order, and you see a log line, the first log something, you see a role check, then you see the thing that eventually creates the order. Same thing for updates order, you know, same 3 lines, you know. By the time you're doing this for create, updates, delete, and other things, variants that comes with mutating data there, and you're checking or you're building a multi-tenant system, for example, and you're checking if this tenant, if the tenant ID exists, that's one. You're checking if this tenant even owns this data or something, or if they have, then that's 2. Then you're checking the third one, do they even have the authority within their organization to change this thing? That's 3. Then okay, go ahead and change that thing. You see, you're doing a whole lot of things, right? And yeah, this second part, yeah, that's the first part, eh? The second one, to be honest for a second, it says, like, how many of us have actually copied, because you have to do that for the create, read, and delete method. You have to now copy those lines, those things you've created, those things that check for those checks, basically, those security check, authority check, login check. You now copy them, copy and paste to both the delete and the update and the whatever method that mutates data. Of course, because it's faster, right? And yeah, here's the risky thing, yeah. If you leave that organization or that code today and somebody else gets on it, for instance, and probably, I don't want to say there's no much documentation or efficient documentation to onboard them, but let's leave that aside. If they are doing things, because there's probably no centralized way of, or like a point where you have determined that, you have said that, okay, this thing checks this thing, because you wrote it in your method. They won't, if I want to create a method, I won't go through the whole method in the code base, the whole services in the code base, just to understand, oh, how do they do things, and I'll come back and put it. I might just want to do my thing once. So for instance, I jump on this thing, they are saying, oh, Timmy, create a service that updates the person's age, or update the person's cat, for instance. And I get there and I check and just pick the ID. Okay, the person's fetch their cat, mutate it, send it back. That's all. What have they done? They've successfully carried out the project, but they were not aware of the fact that they have to check if this, if they even have the, if there is they have the authority to do this. They are not logging who is doing what at what point. That's the second one. The third one, they are not checking even if they are the owner of the cat and all. And so this is risky, because just imagine a teammate shipped an endpoint that works perfectly, except it quietly forgot the role check. And of course, nobody caught in review because that check wasn't a separate inspectable thing. It was just some lines buried within the method. So to avoid all these things and all this stuff and all, you can use aspect-oriented programming, and we'll get to that. So all these things, by the time you find all this stuff, login and all these things inside a particular method, we say that is a cross-cutting concern situation, right? So in your order service, you are logging, you're checking in your order service, in your payment service, in your inventory service, you are logging, you are rule checking in all the methods within it. That's as an issue. And as a matter of fact, I think it would even make sense if we can simulate that. Like I said, this would be a whole lot of, because I found out that I'm talking about AOP is just, it's just, I don't want to say, I don't want to theory, just turn into theory. I would love us to practicalize it. So let me do this. Let's just visualize this for a moment. Demo. No, should be a Spring Boot project, right? Oh, AOP demo, something like that. Java, maybe blah 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 blah. 17, 21, 21. Next, right? And of course, yeah, I need more work. I need that's all. Oh, web, of course. Web has it. So create. Oh, created in another. Let me close this. Okay, so we have our stuff, and I'll just go straight to creating a service. Don't get me started. I want to first of all visualize what we have, and we are saying we have order service. Let's keep things service dot order. Yeah, it's a class. Yeah, that kind of thing. So right, it's inside service. So we have a service basically, and it's still resolving dependencies, so things are not coming up fine. So for our create this thing, no. For our order, create order, we're saying sorry. Good. We have an order. Oh, we've not created our class. Fine. Fine, it's all fine. We'll create it on the go. Create order. And of course, maybe as a request, as you have to have an order request, and say the user or something. All these we've not created it. It's fine. And we are saying we want to do some logging, right? So we are saying system output log create, what can we call it? Create order. I'm yet to go deep into what AOP is, but I just want to create the chaos for us to understand first. So we're saying create order called by whatever the user is. Who is this user? What does the user have? Oh, we've not defined. At least we have a name. Get name. Amen. They should have a name. And you know what? It's becoming. Let's do this. Model. Models. Let's do model. Okay, God. So I've had a great day. Spelling things. Class. I think we are not going to. It should probably be a record. So we're able to use. Yeah, I think it should be a method. A record doesn't even matter. The private final. I think we said it has a name. We said name, yeah, yeah. Name, get name. So how we said get name, yeah. So it doesn't. Yeah, the person has a name. The person has a. Oh, nice. Sorry, I've been writing Go these days, so I'm going to write string in front of name. Not have messed up. String. That's row. Yeah. Let's make them up. I think that's all. And we are good. No, we are not good. I think we brought in long book. So focus required ops and say, I think we are good. Whatever we need, we'll be creating it on the go. So I think we have user now. You're happy, you should be happy. Yeah, so get name. Oh. Service. Spring. No, what is happening? Haha. Service. Yeah. Oh, order. Oh, Lord. Nice. Just create that as soon as possible. At this point, we are saying order. It's going to be very simple. See, we're just doing all this on the go. Sorry. Another is just having, let's say, an ID. Private log file now. Let's keep it as a log. Nothing much or int anyhow. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So we don't keep creating IDs on our own. Let's do thank you, but no. Another yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's just another. Fine. Oh, yeah, we're getting it together. Great. We are just working things on the go. Who recommended this for me? Thank you. ID might have not been final. Oh, okay. Add the constructor. Yeah. I think I want the ID to not be, should be, I don't want to be certain things. Let's just do system. The current time. Yeah, that works. Yeah. Yeah. That should work. What's the problem? Now import the class. Okay. Import. Good. At last. Okay. What happened? Really? Get name? Okay. Nice. Getter. Just getter. Is enough. Oh God, at last. We are fine. Oh, we are not fine. Other request. Oh boy. I'm just trying to separate this thing. Another request. What should be it should basically be a class that has a private string of string maybe item, right? Sorry, what is yada yada? I think I should have prepared for this and just created it on the, yeah. Okay, of course, getters and setters. Let's just do Lombok as data. Yeah, fine. So we are good. Yeah, we are good at last. We are good. No. Good. Oh, back. Sorry. So we are saying we want to log something. Maybe it's created by this user did this. And what else do we want to do? We want to check if they have a role. Or yeah, we said something about role. So good. Just want to create the chaos so you'd understand. So if you're saying if our user does not have, if user does get role is not equal to, it's not, do we even have admin? I don't even know what we have, but yeah, let me make it clear. And oh, sorry, I think I will just do this. Silent, that's good. DevOps. Okay. Yeah, so if it's not admin, we want an admin to be able to create something, and let's say he's not a manager or something. Let's say they're just a user manager, right? Good. I want to let's throw some error. Throw new runtime exception, blah, blah, blah. Get out. Or not authorized, sorry. Let's be appropriate. Not authorized. Thank you. Okay. So what else? Now we don't have to create our order. The order we want to, we're like, okay, now we create the order. Order equals new order. Yeah. What did we request? Yeah, right. We made it. We passed this year. Oh, long. You know what? Just do this. Doesn't matter. Are you happy now? Great, is happy. After that, we want to still log something out again. Say, okay, You created your order, order called by, finished by, or finished whatever. Create order finished for order, finished for order. Now this time we're using the order. You're getting the ID. I think we have an ID for the order. Get ID, of course. And that's all. Yeah, and we'll return the order. Of course. Great. This piece of code is, I can taste the chaos for me already. I can taste the chaos because this is the most important thing. Create a new order basically and return it. But yeah, we've created a log to print something out, basically, just for log, metrics purposes or so. We've checked if they have authority, right? And we are still creating a log again and all. And yeah, that just shows the mess, man. We're just interested in this. And the code works. I know, it does work. And now we are saying, you know what? Instead of having all those, yeah, why don't we just bring something that's separate, that would ideally separate all this? I mean, we don't need all this in this place. Yeah, we are doing some security checks, but we don't need all this. This is the two things we need. Just these two stuffs, right? So what aspect-oriented programming does basically is like, it helps you, we can say it helps you extract some logic, some things. It extracts some logic and then at least keeps your method safe, readable, nice. Separation of concern is not more cross-cutting, right? And when you need this to run, basically, when you need all this to run, because for instance, we need it here, we need them here. When you need them to run, it will still provide it for you. Basically. Hello? Oh. Someone, okay, sorry. So it's still provided for you. And that's where aspect-oriented programming comes in. It does some cleaning, cleans your stuff for you. Yeah, I've been presenting, right? And this is AOP. AOP, we work with this frame. This is what I used, to be honest, before I got all this. So when I read Spring Starts Here to learn Spring. That was some years ago, some time ago. Spring Starts Here by Spilka, Laurent Hugh, yeah? Spilka. And for me to be able to understand all he said, because there were a lot of things he said, and I was like, okay, what is this, what is that, all this stuff. If I had to give all these things my own separate name, just so I would understand them, right, on my own. And I will share them with you, don't worry. It's not even bad. I have to give them my own name. Maybe if I name this myself, maybe it will make sense. There's what is aspect, what is advice, what is join ports, what join point cut, target. There's still, there are some, like, it's just weird. Yeah. So I use this sentence basically to understand what it means. For me, personally, that's what I do. And basically I say, I want some, or let's say we want some logic. Forget these bracketed stuffs here. We want some logic to be executed before each execution of method, an example, which belongs to a particular service, then. If we take it to our point, if we take it back to our whatever, I'm going to say something like, I want was, hold on, don't go back. Where's my code? Yep. I want this logic. We want some logic. These are the logic. These are things we've commented out. The logs, the row check. We want this logic to be executed before each execution of this method creates order, which belongs to other servers. Let me go back to the stuff. Now, you know what? Let me just divide my screen, because why not? I can divide my screen. Yes, I can divide my screen. Good. So I'm saying we want some logic. This logic, that's what we call aspect. So we want your log, your row check, your row check. Oh, please, God, I can't spell again. Your row check, your log, those are the logic. We want some aspects or some logic to be executed before this is called advice. That is now advice. Like, what is advice? Me, I swapped it and I called it moment. I'm so sorry. I mean, who named it advice? Moment makes sense. When I say moment, you know, is it before, after? You know, it's a period of time, and you will see the essence of person. Before each execution of method example point cut, which belongs to the, of course, this class, this service rather. Now, what's the essence of all these things? Does it even make any sense? Fine. Let's get to it. Good. So, aspects. What is an aspect, basically? I think we can come back here. So, an aspect is that module, that particular thing, that particular, let me call it method. Let's use method. That holds your cross-cutting logic. Our cross-cutting logic was the log that we're checking and the row check that was running in Spring. Yeah. It is the class that you mark at aspects. I think we should even be. Oh, I think I've made a really grave mistake of coding this thing. Should have prepared this thing beforehand, right? But you know what? It doesn't bite. We'll just run it regardless. We'll say, you know what? Aspect, Java class, aspect dot login aspect. For instance, yeah, we'll just treat the login. So this is a class. You have to target. You know what? You guys, there's room for everybody. Share. Good. Aspect. Fine. That was not going to come up. That is not going to come up. Aspect does not come automatically for you. You have to include it in. I think we only have number can spring from. Yeah. So we have to do some dependency. And for that, we have Spring. What's the name of game? I think everything starts with Spring. Spring Boot, starter, AOP. Oh, is this the AOP or aspect? Okay, or just is AOP? I think they changed. Yeah, okay. Version is just whatever. Let's reload this. Let's sync this. That's our aspects. Are we good? Analyzing projects done. So T. Okay, good. Great. So the module that holds your cross-cutting logic is called an aspect, right? And of course, because we want to make it same, yeah, it's also a component. So good. And how does it hold it? You know, we said in our code here, we want to log before, we are logging before this system out, this system, whatever, and logging after, right? So we're like, you know what? Yeah, let's just create, we said before, right? Let's create a before, whatever. This before is what we call an advice. That's what I said I'm calling a moment. But hey, please, it is called an advice. So yeah, this is what I used to understand things. So this advice is basically saying, okay, when should your aspect, this is your aspect, this is your logic, that your login, your row check, when should it run? That's what it's basically saying, right? So the advice is saying, hey, okay, you know what? Let's stick with advice. I buy the idea. Advise me when I should run. That makes sense. Oh, I will scrap my moments. I think that will stick. So this advice our aspect when it should run. Is that clear? I mean, I can't see your reactions, but I think it should be clear. So we have something like before, after, around, after throwing, after returning. There are a lot of these things, right? So yeah, I'm saying because I want to do before and after, so let's write before. And there is this thing that comes up. It's interesting. So this before accept, or this advice, they basically accept, how do I call it? I want to say JPQL. they accept let me say parameter. They have their own logic. Let me put it that way. So they have let me say not an expression exactly. What is JPQL? Sorry, an expression. And what do you express? We are saying, okay, execute. You know what? Before execution, right? What? Just execute. And what should he execute? Asterisk, right? Asterisk, and it's having what? Where is the location of our? We want to call it on this service, right? Oh, nice. We just copy you. We'll just copy you like this. Thank you. Just come. All right, thank you. So we're not using. Where you come? Oh, nice. Paste. So we're saying snap knock. Yeah. Come dot all. Yeah. Oh, it's org. I'm not using code. Org dot AOP demo dot service. The service dot right. Other service. That's what we have. The class or the service. God help me with my spelling today. It's absurd. Other service dot the method. We want it to run on this method. Create order. All these things, of course, when you practice it, you would understand. Let me put it that way. Or you know what? I can even we only have create order now. If we had a lot of other stuff, other methods here, say create order, delete order, update order, you can just remove this one and put asterisk, right? You can just remove and put an asterisk here. All the methods inside this other service, they are like this bracket dot. For all those methods, of course, they could hold this one, for example, as 2 parameters, right? Your delete could have just ID, for instance, or the request. So all of them, for all the methods, taking their parameter. The reason why I'm taking it, of course, you understand now. Good. So now to our method itself. So the method that should do something. So our advice, basically, we have already said, okay, this is what it should do. This is when it should happen. This is when it should happen. Now, join point. We know we are defining this here, and we are not touching this place at all for anything. We're not adding any annotation or whatever. So you are going to now feel like, how is this one going to know, aside from this expression that we've put here, how is it going to know when to or what to even target, basically? This is how it's going to know what to target. Then how is it going to know when to even target it? Right? How is it going to know when to target it at all? Is it when the method is called or whatever? Now in Spring, should I say Spring Boot or Spring? Spring aspects work, or AOP basically work mostly on method calls. So it is when we call this method create order that these should work. This should work, right? So let's go on and create our class. We are saying, oh, thank you, public void, not log before. Oh, that's smart. I mean, that's fine. Then join point. This join point is where we have a specific point during execution where advice could run, most commonly a method call. So when this method is called, the moment you call this method, create order, maybe in your controller, you create, the moment it is called like this, that is when this one should run. That's what a join point is, right? Good. So what do we want to do in this place? We want to basically call, what were we doing here? What were we doing here? Yeah, we're doing this. You can just cut it. X, bring it down here. Paste. Okay, user. Now, of course, because we're not going to get user, we're not bringing our user in from here. We're going to get all those things from join point. We're going to get it from the join point, right? So it's saying, when that method is called. So you can copy this. That's its own parameters. I don't want to bore you with the BI. No, when I asking, I don't even know the BI to ask. Yeah. Join point. So instead of create you can say, we say join, what is that? Join points dot get the method signature, yeah, signature dot you get the method name, basically. And yeah, okay. You can just, what's this? You can say code. Method, this method is code. Basically. And that's it. That is it. Oh, execution is plus. I said I have something with my spelling today. Execution. Right. And that is it. You know, we said, oh, also, we want to call it before this method runs and probably after this stuff is done or something. Good. We can just also say, you know what? Put it as V instead of before, you have having after. Yeah, just for the sake of it. Log after. Just changing it. After. And instead of called, we said we can just do finished. Yeah, we are good. That is all. All those things you're writing here, all the rows, all the logs is undone. So when you call this method now, this one would run and do this. This one would run and do this. Right. So if anybody comes and says, for that instance, I said somebody joined, a new person joined the code base, and the person is writing public, or maybe updates or whatever, or delete. This would always run. I mean, this stuff would always run without, without them even knowing about it. Simply because we have targeted the services, the other services, we have targeted all the methods inside this place. You see how clean it is? You don't have to duplicate all those stuff. You don't have to do all those mental gymnastics of writing a log here, putting a log there, and all the stuff. It is that easy. It is that easy. So we can remove this successfully. Let's go to the next one, because it's a chain of something. It's a chain. Point cut. Of course, point cut is this execution. So it's saying all the methods that match just this expression. That's what you should. That's at that point, at the point where we should, do things. We should do our aspects or run our logic. That's what point cut basically is. Right? So the most important thing, there are quite a lot, to be honest. There's target point also or something. Yeah, target object. That is basically your class, your service, yeah, your class. This one, yeah. That's always a target object. And the reason why this is even important is that, Spring, when you use annotations, Spring basically, what does it do? It stores your bin in a context, right? And of course, from DI, dependency injections and inversion of control, all these things, you don't call things by yourself. Spring does all these things behind it for you. That is just why target object is important also. So you can get this service, this other service, and do your own magic. Spring is really a very beautiful thing if you think about it. It's really, it's a mystery, it's a magic, it's a black box. Then when you start digging deep into it, you're like, oh, so this is how you guys do. Oh, I understand better now. It is intuitive eventually. Of course, it will be hard at the point, yeah, fine. But it is intuitive, right? So that makes basically the most important thing, to be honest, why, from my experience, the advice, and the point cut are some of the most important things, basically, like that I have used a lot of times. Of course, this one is ultimate target object. Of course, the moment you added service to your stuff, it's targeting it already. So that was nothing you're doing. But successfully now, we have successfully said that this logic, we want this logging system, our aspect, to be executed
before, that's our advice, that's why we at before, at after. Before each execution, that is method call of create order, point cuts, before the execution of, please have mercy, before each execution of method example, for us it is create order, which belongs to the example service that is the target object. This is the order service for us. So cleanly, that is basically it. Now, just a little bit of internal before we just move on. A little bit of internal. Just because this is a bin, this order service, because it is a bin, does not necessarily mean that, you now think of it that, so anytime I call a method, I call this create method, inside this my bin, Spring basically hands over all my method, or hands over my bin to the aspect, just so the aspect can do its thing. Trust me, we are doing before and after. There's around that can alter the behavior of your method completely. There's around, there's before, there's after throwable or whatever, after throw rather. So a lot of things can be done. This is just a very simple and introductory one, right? So because this is a service, so Spring is basically handing over my method to the aspect behind the scene. So when you now call my method, this one will first of all run before my method now runs. No. Spring does not do that. Spring basically, anytime you call this create order, maybe from your controller, Spring is giving your aspect a proxy, a false, like a fake method, basically, a proxy method. So your aspect, basically, we use that one. That's what it will use to run, basically. So that proxy sits between the your aspect and the real object, right? So it's not like as if you just pass it directly to it. The essence of this is just because of the internal things, it has its own use case and its own values and all this kind of stuff. But I'm not going to go deep into that. So basically, this is it. So, and you have a target object. This is your create order. This is your aspect or something, or someone is calling your aspect. Basically, Spring will give it a proxy, right, with the advice wire into it and all this whole thing. And the process of doing that is called weaving. There are a lot of there are a whole lot of concepts. We have talked about aspects, we've talked about advice, we've talked about join point cuts, target objects, weaving. I think there's particular one I'm missing also again. They are quite just a lot. Sorry, we already refactored, we did it live. I didn't follow my scripts. That's great. So we already refactored it basically. Now I think because of time, I could have, we could have quickly run through the rules. That one even has a lot of another dynamism to it. And you know what? It doesn't bite to do it. It doesn't bite to do it. Let's do authorization. Is it yes or no? British American edition, please. So we want to remove this one that checks for authorization. You see how we want to remove this code away from this stuff too, right? So we said it will always be an aspect. Remember, an aspect component, of course, and this is quite even extra tricky. And this one is around. See, you know what we just did for login? Login does not influence the result of create order. It just logged something out. It does not influence the result. It does not do anything to this. Now, for authorization, we are saying if you are not authorized to do this, throw new error. Don't even reach it. Don't even create it at all. You see, this is influencing the behavior of this create order. Ideally, create order is just supposed to create the order. But you're now saying, you know what? There could be a situation where someone is not authorized to create an order. So what do? Don't allow them create the order. So how do we achieve that? Well, the brute way is you can write it here, and it's ugly. To me, it's ugly. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, yeah, but to me, it's ugly, and to you, it is ugly. To be ugly, it should be ugly. right? So we're saying this particular piece of code will alter the results of create order. Yeah. So that means this one is even more crazy. So we are not just using before and after. We are doing around. It is around it. It is around it. And like before, we did execution. I hope I'm getting the spelling right at this point. Yeah, I should. Went to school. And we are like, of course, our asterisk. And we have, oh God. Let me just copy and paste. Yeah, don't we all do it? Okay. Okay. V. If it doesn't work, we are good. Regardless. So we are doing it. So for this one, of course, because we are not targeting, we don't want this to affect every method under this stuff. We want it to affect probably when you are creating a loan. So we can then come here and say, you know what, it's not to remove the asterisk, do create order. Just create order alone. And you can also say, so if you also say, oh, what of updates? If any other person wants to, we said things that mutate data, basically. So you can say, you know what, not just that. Also, if they mutate data, and also add extra is, of course, use your or. Everybody should know that, something like that. If you did, what's that topic again? So, or V. So instead of create order, then we don't have it, we say update, upd. Update order. Oh, obviously, the long. Doesn't matter. And now, of course, you cannot have your method log around. That's not nice, Joe. Check off or check rule is right. Now, this one is using complete point proceeding join point. This one used, where's that one? Join point. Now, this one basically proceeding join point is actually like an aspect of join point. Let me see. Why am I explaining? This is it. Check the source code. Interface. Yeah, it extends join point. And while join points can do something, join points always give you is like read only. Did I say is like? I think it is read only. Yeah, it is read only. It just gives you things, information. You can just read stuff. This proceeding join point will allow you to do things. It has this proceed. It will allow you to do stuffs, right? It gives you that extra power, basically. So that's why we're using proceeding join points. And throwable, not because itself throws something. The reason why we are doing throwable here is because your stuff here could be throwing something. And remember, when we call this stuff, like when we call create order, maybe it's throwing an exception. And this one is wrapping around it. This one needs to be able to catch that exception. That's why we have throwable. Yeah, so there's no magic in there, right? And then we can say, this one we can bring in your user, basically. I have a user, please. Allow. User, or we can say, want to actually extract something. Oh, God. Want to extract the user. Oh, they want to extract something from them. Oh, we can say user. Want to extract their role. Basically, want to extract their role. So you can then say something like, this is going to get long. I thought 924. Good. For no now. The smarter way. We're not doing that. Yeah. So we are saying for all this, for all the arguments you get from these things, it has access to we're using create order, right? So it has access to the argument, the whole parameter, the argument you passed here. Yeah. So you're like, for all the arguments here, nice. Now, thank you. If the argument is an instance of user, let's go back to order service. We have order request here, and we have user here. Good. So we're checking for user. If it's an instance of user, return something like return that argument. But yeah, of course, Java can cry, really. You can say it is an instance of good. Yeah, you're telling Java, hey, don't worry, I already checked it. I accept this person. Yeah. So that's that. else. I think there should be an else statement. Yeah, so you can just throw a new or throw a new exception or whatever, illegal. Yeah, illegal makes sense. Please give me illegal. Please give me illegal. Please give me illegal. Yeah, illegal state exception. No user found something. No ads with the user something. Oh, right. I should have extracted this to another method. No. You know, it doesn't matter. No ads with, no argument with, no user argument found. Ads found. Good. Yeah, we are good. Good. So basically it does this no, for should be inside though. What am I doing? Oh man. How do you move VS Code and traumatized? Okay. Good. Good. So then for our user, because user equals no, don't do that. Then now we're now going to check the role. If the user has a role, gosh. If the user has a role, no. If the user, what's the time? 27.3 minutes. Oh my days. If the user has a role, are we writing it well? Are we writing it well? We return, we're not returning user equals ag. Yeah, basically. Please, what now? Past it. Thank you. So yeah, this user is equal to this one. Now, if the user, or well, if you are checking if the user has for all the roles that the user have, if it's the same for for all the rows code string rows for all the rows that the user have, basically. Oh, we're not passing rows yet. No, I think I should extract this out. One moment. Let's have a private dot GB. This is how to row. Yeah, it takes a row. In fact, it takes because it takes many, it can take many rows. Then of course it takes the user. It's becoming messy. Oh, messy. What that messy really. Ronaldo fans. I was saying for all the I think this is making sense now. For all these, if the user has a role, you can get their role. I think we have to get, yeah, we have edit lombok. If it equals role, yeah, you know what, just return true. Else, return for nice, thank you. So here we can just do it because I see this is getting long. So here we can just do, so if yes, sorry, I'm taking also through this. I should have written this and probably just yap through it. User equals, let's say admin, manager. Yeah, just through oh no, through new runtime exception. Yeah, let's do runtime exception. Not off. So I'm washing all through this. So good. Not authorized. And then of course return the join points dot proceed. We saw that here. Join points dot proceed here, this method. Proceed. Good. So we have method now. User. Yeah. User might not have initialized. I have initialized the user. I initialized the user. So basically, initialize the user. Okay. I get. Good. So basically, This one, just forget this helper method is just supposed to help me check if the person has an admin or manager role. If they don't, show they are not authorized, basically. Role. Thank you. So basically, this one is going to alter the effect of this. So if you don't have, so we can then cancel this one now. Simple. This is us refactoring our code. This is us refactoring our code. So it's now simple. Now this creates order. You see, I think this is a level of abstraction. We're running up soon. This is a level of abstraction that I don't like, but I still enjoy. You know, yeah. I don't like because basically I think Go is opening my eyes. You have to do things yourself and it makes sense. But at the same time, this thing is helpful. And this level of abstraction, what do I mean? On this service now, on this what do I call it? Target object. Yeah, it's called target object. On this target object now, this other service. If I create any method, update, delete, whatever, they would always have, I can close this. They would always have my login aspect before and after. Because we said order service and audio method in it. For my authorization aspect, I'm only checking for create order and update order. So if eventually, and of course I can say delete order also, anything that mutates data. So if eventually you go on to create public, update order or something like this, right? What happened? We're supposed to return order. We just return. Yeah. If I go to create something like this, to you, this is simple, readable. But the moment someone checks through, or like someone tries to do something, this one will click, check rule, without me even adding it here. So that is an abstraction. At the same time, it makes it all clean. And anybody who sees it will be like, oh, you're not taking care of this. You're not, what if the user is not whatever? You can just point them to, hey, I've written an aspect that does this for me. And all I have to do is keep adding more methods, delete, alter, update, set, whatever. And that's what's the beauty of all these whole things. That's the beauty of all these whole things. Our time is actually up. My time basically is up. And I would love to actually just run this basically so that we'll see what, okay, wait. Yeah. What's this? Oh, okay. It's on a straight line. And yeah, because, well, just so we can run this, hope everything works out well. Public application, blah, 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 runner. No, I need a command line runner, basically. Yeah. Command line runner. Just name it runner, please. Runner takes our order service. That's what we are dealing with, basically, and it's returning. So some argument. Thank you. Oh, that's just smart. But if I can leave this ecosystem. Oh, user, and let's say an admin, please, yes. Sorry, I want to run this admin, a user, and we say the user will always have a name. Let's use Samuel, for whatever reason I'm using his name, and the role, admin, right? Let's duplicate this, admin, layman like me. Oh, no. Oluwa, why not? Regular, why not? Yeah, good, yeah. We are like, okay, you know what, for our order service, I want to be able to create an order with, of course, new order request. I don't think we have any parameter at the beginning. I don't think we do. With admin, the user. No, Samuel is the admin. Good. Right. Yeah, let's do it for layman too. That's that. It's good. Yeah, so it's just a demo. Expected. Where have I missed that out? Okay, add it now. These are the things that Java, the IDE should just do, man. When you click Ctrl S or something. Let's see. Hopefully things will be. Oh. Enable now. I think we enable it already. Okay. Okay. Ah, nice. Okay. Our stuff run. Application failed. No user ads found. Is that me? Did I say that? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Good. So you see, I tried creating an order. Where's that guy? Yeah, this guy here. This guy right here. Yeah, thank you. I tried creating an this is the last thing. I tried creating an order with layman, Ifeoluwa, regular. You see, only admin and manager can do that. So I tried creating an order, right? And because he's a layman, I tried creating it. Yeah, he told me, no, is that what he said? Oh, he said no user. Found. Okay. No user found. Where? Line. Right. Yeah. Basically, I tried creating another, and because there was no user found, let me see for this guy. Let me try manager. Basically, run this moment of truth. I think our time is far spent. I would possibly, yeah, but nice. Now my own. Yeah, this is debugging loss. This is what happens when you're coding life, man. It happens. Create order, update order. So ideally, I think we are having issues here, which I would have loved to dig into a lot of errors. But because of time, I won't dig into it. But ideally, this is how aspects works, basically. Wraps around your things and all this stuff. And you know what? We can just hide this. We can just hide all this. In fact, it does not just exist. Let's leave it out. Let me try something else. But ideally, this is how aspect-oriented work.
Somebody said you needed an else.
You said?
Somebody said you need an else block.
Okay, so I would go to that, but yeah, you see what happened here. I'll go to that now. And sorry, come down. As you can see, I have create order code. I did not put space. OCD. Create order finished, create order code. Create order code, create order finished. I think I should have put. And why is that happening? That is happening because, of course, when I create order, I already said there should be a log before and after. I didn't put a space. Yeah, that makes sense. Create order code. And so it's working. Our aspect is basically working, right? So you can use that for, okay, now to the person that said, please indulge me. Let's do this together. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so after he ran, after he did the whole thing, he went ahead to call. Okay. So let me come back. Let's see. Thank you very much. That person, Samuel owe you, Samuel, what can you afford?
Baba, now they teach, now they owe. Continue with what you're doing.
Please, can the person come up? Because can the person speak? Because I think even after this class, I'm definitely looking deep into it. I'm still getting it. I'm definitely sure something is up somewhere.
I think because of time is fast.
Because of time.
Yeah, because of time. I think you would share this code base, so maybe
all right.
maybe would definitely have a part two of this because it's actually interesting. But AOP, the thing about AOP is that it is quite hard to debug, right? Like you pointed out, like when okay, read one. You want to say something? Okay. Read one. Okay.
Read on.
Okay, read one. Say something. Okay,
Um,
so I'll close here. But that's one thing about AOP because I think when like you said, you said something about abstraction again. It abstracts a layer of code. So when somebody comes onto your when somebody sees your code and you use this AOP concept, they won't know what is happening on the background. They'll just be seeing some things are going somewhere, but they don't know because first of all, it's not affecting the throughput of the system. So you won't even feel the way of it. You get so because its aspect is just pegged on other events. You get so that's why it's actually hard to do. And for some cases, you'll be tempted because it's actually interesting because you feel like, okay, this is not actually affecting the throughput of my system. So let me use it in certain result. The thing is, as much as declarative style of, let me just say, this abstracting style of coding is sweet and it looks professional. I'll show you in your code base, you want it to be explicit. You want your code to be readable. You want your code, you want somebody to come onto your code and actually understand without doing lots of discovering things later. You get so, but actually, if you use it for the right thing, if you use it for the right thing, I mean, it's good, especially when you are doing audit logs and all those cutting edge, not trying to write a snap code. You get don't use it for that. Don't use it for that purpose. But if it's logins and those logins like it's logging for like your electric search and all stuff. Is it elastic search? Yeah, you can use elastic. You can use it for them because you want to log as much information as possible, and also you don't want your log to actually affect the throughput of your system. Again, that's it's a very interesting tool to actually have.
It's like about 2 minutes to just round something up.
Okay, you can.
Good. So, like Samuel easily said, I wanted to even give a very good example. I shouldn't even be doing this, and I'm not going to do it. But I mean, it doesn't bite, does it? My code base, for instance, I do a whole lot of I have a multi-module, like 22 modules within one term doing stuff. Honestly, I that's a huge stuff. Like I'm not even going to lie to you. The database connection alone is just a module because we can't have it spinning up everywhere. And so because we do a lot of telemetry and logging and all these things, you just decided that if I actually started that because I was seeing a whole lot of logging one, SFL, please God have mercy, SLFG or whatever that number thing is. They're just logging things here and there. I have to just centralize the whole stuff, feed who I want to feed, and remove it from the code base because even before you get to the crux of what you want to read, what that method does, you've read logs, you've read logic style. Like, is this even necessary yet? But like Samuel also rightly said, where it is necessary, please use it. Like where it's necessary, just use it there. Don't use it because you want to be smart. Because if you look at this code base now, you'll feel like it's not doing anything. You're just creating order. You're just doing this. Meanwhile, some aspects are running, and they will just be saying magic in the logins, yeah. So most of the use cases like for logging, for like maybe authorization, some transactions, some metrics, some keychain and all. And just like he said, it is not free. The last thing here, debuggability takes a hit, to be honest. Debuggability takes a hit. You are like, what is happening? Where is this logic? I'm scratching my head. This user is an admin or is a whatever. Where is the logic? And so somebody tells you, let me connect you to the previous developer. He has gone to Canada, and that one says he does not have time, or you're trying to connect through LinkedIn. Please, why did you hide this code? Eh? And of course, then go for here. You can ask you, what is happening? Like, there's an aspect written somewhere that is checking authorization, and you just like, what? So yeah, it is not just free. It's not something you just do to be nice, to make your code nice, right? So yeah, that is it basically. And like you said, not everything is cross-cutting. Just reach for it when the logic repeats across all related classes, right? Just reach for it when necessary. So yeah, that is, I would, sorry for taking your time, 9:45, but no need for questions. I'll just delete it. Answers. Go to bed because I can. Yeah. So that's the end for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We would definitely do a part of AOP. AOP is as much as it kills me, but it's a very good to have. Yeah, it's very good to have in the belt because when I was talking about me, I did they call it something segregation of concern. I don't know if you know that command query segregation of
Yeah.
concern. That's crazy. That's a top level AOP there, but yeah. So, but you won't commonly see it. It's not common in this implementation.
Yeah.
But thank you all for joining the session. Have a wonderful night.